I used to come to you guys more overzealous than I am today. But yeah, I'm Dede, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Speedhawk TV and the late, the now late. Basically, let me just Muhammad Ali has passed away on today, June 4th, 2016. Hitting a couple of points. You know, me as a sports person, I got hit with a couple of points. Born January 17th, 1942, three-time three-time world champion. Had a 56-5 record. Fought over 548 rounds in the ring. Born Cassius Clay. Cassius Marcellus Clay beat Sonny Liston and changed his name. Known for some of the great boxing, exhibitions. The Thrilla in Manila. Oh, the Rumble, Rumble in the Jungle, Thriller in Manila. Oh my God, just the most. I'm just hit it straight off the head. This man with his style, the rope-a-dope style. Also, he was able not only to dodge punch but also inflict punch with like a 61% knockout rating that he had, and it just gets me that great people are leaving time by time. Michael Jackson, Prince. Then you just think about the people who left the world of sports in these years. Kobe's gone, Ray Lewis gone, Derek Jeter's gone, Peyton Manning's gone. Guys like that are starting to leave us faster, and that undoubtedly the past was the greatest exhibitions of athletes, or the greatest, collection of athletes that we've had, and that in recent memory, even though athletics, with the enhance of television and social media, is just now getting to the forefront, but you just know from like history and history books the way things were, that we've lived in a great time. But to get on the case of Muhammad Ali, my case, and the way I feel about it is, this is a man that changed the way an athlete is perceived. And he was one of the first people that I've read or that I've heard about. Talked to my grandfather, who was a great person that was a sports mind, that also got me interested in talking about sports and becoming knowledgeable about sports. Muhammad Ali was the type of person that would go out in the community, and people would flux to him, and he would just be the center of attention. Like, he was the rock star of his day before there were even rock stars. He was the Beatles, he was the Jackson 5, he was all they put together. And it was, to me, going against the biggest and the baddest. Whenever they stepped out in front of him, Sonny Liston was the champion, and everybody was afraid, oh, and I'm not finna fight Sonny Liston and ruin my record. I can get money somewhere else. Muhammad Ali said, give me this man, I'll fight him. Muhammad Ali takes down Sonny Liston. He goes back, and Joe Frazier's the big bad man, and he goes out and fights Joe Frazier, and Joe Frazier knocks him out. So he goes back and he trains, and I think he gets another fight in or whatever. He comes back and fights George Foreman. After George Foreman knocked out George Frazier, down goes Frazier. Then you come back and you beat George Foreman, and some might say he's in his greatest. Forget that, in his greatest show as a boxer, and defeating George Foreman. My apologies, George Foreman, and taking him down to Zaire. So, and that's when it came with the Ali Kumbaya, and then he gets back, and then fight Frazier again for a third time, and then fights Liston, I think, again, and everything just comes down on the man. His own country turned on him, turned on the man. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, and they tell this man he got to go to Vietnam and fight some people that have done nothing to him. Like he said, a Viet Cong ain't never called me the N-word. The people in my own country do that. So why should I go over there and fight them? So that tells you something about, he's not finna go slave for a white man to go peel these people of a darker skin tone that they have done nothing to me. I should be fighting the people right here in my own country that gave me all this pain and all this suffering for all these years. Born in 42, it was what, 23 years before civil rights came into effect. Lyndon Johnson signing the papers or whatever. So that is something to think about. He came up and said that. Most people were afraid to say that at the time. You had your Malcolm X's and your Martin Luther Kings, but then you just thought they would say that. Okay, he gonna say something about this. He gonna say something about this. But an athlete, a professional athlete that spoke out and said something about racial injustice and basically injustice as a whole, that is something that you can also be proud of. He went and joined the Nation of Islam after he beat something listening, and the whole world changed him. Like, what, you gonna be a Muslim? Don't they kill people or whatnot or whatnot? Not? But it was the thinking and the thoughts and religions and the practices that the Nation of Islam gave him, made him a better man and a total being. So you take that as it is, that this man captivated an African American community because he was one of the first people with that kind of star power. That most, like, you can look at a Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they had to build their star power. He had it when he became of the Nation of Islam. Martin Luther King was already a Christian before he said something, and Malcolm X was basically a part of the Nation of Islam after he went to jail and stuff. So he wasn't a good look. But Martin Luther King, I'm not saying Martin Luther King, but Muhammad Ali, he was able to take his star power and build something off of it. It's like SportsCenter had the segment that in 2001, after 9/11, after 9/11, no, say, forget that, just after 9/11, he came out and spoke out for the Nation of Islam, said it's wrong to go kill people and to go, to say, oh yeah, we did it, we put them 2 planes through that building, we're not afraid to say it, yada yada yada. Y'all stop y'all Western culture or whatever is wrong. Stop coming out here fighting our wars. Fighting in battles that have none of y'all business. He said that, but Muhammad Ali said that's wrong. You should not do that. But it just, this man captivated a whole race, not just a country. You understand? You can get a country. You captivate your country. Most people do that. LeBron James, a president, a president that captivates his country or whatnot. As a few certain people that just don't like you. But this man captivated a race. The whole African American race was behind this man 120%, regardless of what he did, right, wrong, to another race or to another group of people. The African American community was behind him, and he was behind them. Stephen A. Smith tell the story about when there was a whole bunch of reporters in his face trying to ask him interview questions. It's a black man that look like it's his first day out or something like that, and he comes out of the point and says, "You sit right there." And then after he get through giving the other people the interview, he gives the black man a one-on-one interview, and you just don't know how much that means. I don't know how much that means to an African American person to know that your brother has your back, or they feel the same pain that you feel, and that they see it and they want to make sure you progress and be better as a person. And it's the same way for if it was a white man that he felt that needed something, he would have been the same way, because he was just an outstanding person of the stories that people are telling about this man. Like, he was just an outstanding person, but first and foremost, he made sure his people was okay, his African American people, or his people of a darker skin tone, because he went to Africa and he became the cultivator of that. When he went to fight George Foreman, Ali Kumbaya, he took that country and made it his, basically. Millions of people around there chanting and rooting for him. And then he beat Sonny Liston and said, I must be the greatest. I must be the greatest because can nobody mess with me. Because basically what he was saying. And it got to the point where you knew this man was something special. But to me, it was past being an athlete. Past just going out there in the boxing ring and doing your rounds, your 12 rounds or whatever, or beating them in one round, and then just saying, that's it, I'm going to go home, I'm going to get my paycheck, I'm going to go kiss my wife and kids and be done with it. But it's a difference when you become the world champion. If you go touring the world, Japan, Sweden, Russia, and everything else, going out having philanthropy and telling people how to better the world and do this and do that, you give everything in a positive manner. And speaking up for your country, not only in America, but then also speaking up for the Nation of Islam, your religion. So there's a double. And me only being 20 years old, and I know so much, I know a lot about Muhammad Ali in a certain sense, that you can tell where he left his mark. Because this generation is being left by people that are showing money, flashing it, throwing it in the air, burning it at least, and not giving it, and people are struggling out here to have a college education. He might not only be maybe the greatest athlete of all time, regardless of sport, basketball, football, cricket, soccer. You could call Messi anything. Muhammad Ali might not only be the greatest boxer or even the greatest athlete of all time. He may also be the greatest person of all time. Like, you just get a book and just give me the greatest people, the most influential people that ever graced this earth, and then you might have a picture of Muhammad Ali somewhere up in your top 5. He captivated a country. He captivated a race. He captivated basically almost the world. And he made everybody believe and everybody notice that you can make a difference. Only not with what you do, but with your voice. I understand that he had a platform he could speak on as being the world champion, but he showed everyone that with your voice you can be powerful. You don't have to have $1 million. You can just have $1. As long as you have something to say, as long as you have just a small platform, you can tell it to someone, and that may change the difference. It might not only change one person, but it might only change one person, but that one person might spark another person, and that light, that flame will keep on passing. As you see with him at Parkinson at the Olympics, shaking all he could. Him getting up there, shaking and lighting that torch for the Olympians. That showed people that you can fight through anything, and anything is possible. You can put your mind to it. It's all the small things that he did in life that help people know that you can make a difference. This man changed his name and was ridiculed, was sent to jail, came out of jail, and still won fights, and didn't really lose until the end when he was basically out of it. But to finish my points, I send my condolences as a Speedhawk, and you know me, Daddy, and the rest of the Speedhawk family send our condolences to the Ali family and to all my viewers out there that I mourn, and also not even related to them. I feel for you guys also that we've lost a great member of the sports world. But in all, Ali might not only be the greatest boxer, might not only be the greatest athlete, but he might be the greatest person of all time. And you, Mr. Ali, you are the greatest.